Now, last in the color palette, and certainly not least, is the HSL tool, and it's located at the very bottom. You'll see this large color wheel here, and it's a lot easier just to show you what it does rather than try to explain it to you in the abstract. I think you'll catch on if you just look at how it works. And we'll take a look at two example images here. The sweater and the little girl, red though it is, it looks a little intrusive. It's not complementing the otherwise warm color palette we have on this image. So I want to change the color on this. Now you'll notice at the top these little color swatches that go across, and what you do is you click on this and you can see immediately that the color wheel turns red. If you click green rather, it turns green, and then so on with blue, and repositions all the controls in the appropriate color based on what you click. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on red because that's probably the closest color to the little girl's sweater. And the way to see if you've got the color selected properly or not is simply desaturate the entire image. Now what we have here is not all of the colors in the sweater, and we've got the little girl's lips, which we don't want. Now, this color wheel was brand new to PhotoLab in version 3, and they've refined it considerably in version 4. One of the best revisions that they've done is to add this color sample tool, the eyedropper in the middle, and what you do is you click on this, and then here at the bottom, you can choose the radius of the color. And I'm going to pump this up to about 30 because as you can see, there's a lot of texture here. There's a lot of different color variations. I say a lot of different color variations. It goes from light to dark. And so it's very difficult to isolate the color with a very small sample size. So we're going to have a very large sample size on this, and I'll go back to 100% view. We'll go ahead and click on it. And then we'll take the saturation down to see if we've got it all. And indeed we do. And in fact, we're not taking out the little girl's lips. And we can refine that selection by coming up here, and you can see the color returns to the hair and it returns to the lips. Now we're not going to do like change this from red to blue or anything of that nature. We're just kind of going to warm up this red color because one of the limitations of this wheel is really being able to isolate specific colors. So you kind of have to pick and choose the image you want to use, and you can't make, you can technically, but artistically I'm not sure it's the thing you want to do. You'll see it here in just a minute, is what I'm talking about. So when we reduce the saturation, we see that we have just the sweater, and we've got a little bit of color in the hair here. We've made that sacrifice, but I definitely wanted to get away from the lips. If I did not mind getting the lips in there, and as I think about this, it might not be that big a deal. I want to kind of include more of this hair area here. So let's see what we got. And just for giggles, I'm going to move this. I think we're okay with that. Now I'm going to return the saturation to normal. And as I take this, what I call the top control, click on it and drag it. And as I push it towards orange, you can see the tint on that sweater change. I'll do it quickly. See, there's pink and then there's orange and a little warmer than it was before. And I think it complements the face and the hair a lot better. Now we can also adjust the luminance of the color. We can make it darker, we can make it lighter, and we can spread the uniformity of the color. Take it out like that, which I kind of like. And then these controls are controlling the feathering of the color within the selection. But it's starting to affect the lips a little more than I want to, so I think I'm going to leave that adjustment just like that. And here we have before and after, and I think that's a much better result. Let's take a look at the cloud picture now, and this looks a little bit washed out. If we look at our histogram, our luminance histogram, you can see that we are not blowing anything out. In fact, well, I say that, but let's check it and make sure. And indeed, we are not blowing anything out, so we do have detail in those clouds. And so I'm going to come up here, I'm going to go to this panel temporarily, I'm going to bring down the luminance in the highlights of the image, and it is bringing more detail into the clouds, and it's also darkening the sky a little bit, which is what I wanted to do, but we want to darken that sky a little more than it is, so we're going to go to the HSL wheel, and I'm going to take the eyedropper, and I'm going to just click on the sky and check to see if we have it selected, which we do. Now keep in mind, see these houses down here? These are all not being affected. The water's not being affected, only the sky, which is a very good thing. So let's go ahead and return this back to default. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken the sky just a bit, just to give it a little more punch. It kind of emulates the use of a polarizing filter, that if you leave your polarizing filter at home, you can fake it using this control and just darken things a little bit. Now, just by way of demonstration, we can take this color and move it over here and give it a purple look. If you want a special effect, you can go this way and go add some green for an aqua kind of look. So, you know, maybe you're working on some water and you can change the color that way, and so on. So very precise color adjustments are available to you in the HSL color wheel in DxO PhotoLab.